Alright, how you doing? This is me, like it is. I'm going to hide the chat comments because I don't want to be distracted. And I survived the storm here in Houston. I survived. Yes, I survived the hurricane, whatever it was. Because I prayed my Catholic prayers. Okay, so this is an article about Catholic priest named Father William Atchison. As I said, whatever his name, he was a former Ku Klux Klan member. Later on became a Klansman. And I know people were shocked because the KKK have always been against Catholics, okay? But you gotta understand, and I'm a Catholic, I'm an ex-Protestant, okay? With an X. I do not like Protestant, I like personal interpretation of scripture. You know, I quote St. Peter's verse all the time. Because people twist scripture to control my doggone life. So, and I'm a little lapsed Catholic. I'm in as a convert. I'm in the lapse because I don't trust the diocese here. I mean, one thing, I'm an independent mind person. So, and I've many debated with priests and even threatened to get the Pope, which I've already done. How I was treated, yelled at and stuff. Left from evangelical fundamentalist home. That mess. Now no, I don't care. You had a Counter-Reformation Catholic, not about Counter-Reformation. They tried to get things from the Protestant belief system and put it into Catholicism. That they're not the belief system, but like the attitudes. For example, you hear rumors about you hear stories about priests, nuns whipping kids. That came out of Counter-Reformation. Okay, y'all get my point. Counter-Reformation, okay? And anytime a Catholic is Counter-Reformation, as an ex-Protestant, I try to get away from it, okay? Because nothing that, I can deal with liberal Protestantism and moderate Protestantism, but when it comes to conservative Protestantism, and coming from the South, the dirty South, so-called Bible Belt, I just don't like it, okay? People start preaching Protestant, I go ahead and admit it. I'm going to miss you, I'm going to quote that verse, and if you do anything for it, I will take legal action. I might get ugly, I ain't supposed to get ugly, but yeah, okay? So this priest, when he was in his 20s, he was not active in his faith. And those who are white, who happen to be Catholic, usually, I bet when he was in the Klan, did not tell people he was Catholic because they're anti-Catholic, they're anti-Protestant. They're pro-Protestant, they're pro-white Anglican Protestant, okay? And folks that know, I saw comments on the WD section. What disturbed me, they were before the slave trade. Okay, yeah, but also know your records and from Catholic data that also the Pope was against the slave trade too. It was wicked Catholic people, just like the Baptists who promoted slavery in the South, Southern Baptist Convention. Before you start attacking my faith, and I'm an ex-Baptist. And I do not like that religion. No offense, I don't. The conservative part of it, okay. You need to know your history, that the reason why the American Baptists and the Southern Baptists split because of personal interpretation of slavery. We were a lot of white, we were shocked about the white evangelicals. I wrote in my video, and I'm not shocked because I went to predominantly white school, we were predominantly Hispanic, and a lot of the white folks, there were white Catholics, but they were mostly white Protestant, many of them were not all that church going. They were church going, but they weren't church in the heart. They were racist, and then there were African American people, whether it be Protestant or Catholic, dark skin, light skin, whatever, who also were racist. Okay, same thing with Latinos. There were Protestant and Latinos and Catholic Latinos that I know there were racist too. Okay, so people look at individuals. I mean, first off, I'm trying to not curse here because this is a religious topic. The 13th chapter of Matthew tells you there'll be weeds and weeds. The weeds are the bad people. Right now, if I go back to church, I'll be the weed, okay? Because I have been to confession, okay? And I pray and everything else, but due to some things happen, I have an ugly attitude. People yell at me, and I threatened to get the diocese involved, which I did tell the cardinal during confessional one time, and it wasn't him. It was at the cathedral that I don't go to anymore. And I did tell the Pope on that, on the priest and the usher there, and also other parishes I've been through. And when I remember I threatened a Nigerian priest, a black priest, I threatened a Nigerian priest that I would tell the Pope how he was talking to me in confession on the Southwest side. No, because he knew he was doing wrong. And see, you ever heard of saying that when the cat's away, the rats will play? Yeah, okay. Well, I don't have that mentality of the old school folks with authority or folks with can talk to any kind of way. No, you treat respect, I treat respect. I can come and being ugly. And even Pope Francis said that in the confession, supposed to be merciful, and he needs to examine here in Houston. I'm a snitch. He examined here in Houston. The Houston diocese had a lot of priests rude in confession about some gold. And he said, "Why you gonna confess to a man?" Well, because in Matthew 9, Jesus said, when he was forgiving sins. The Pharisees and the scribes was like, "Oh, he can't forgive sins. Only God can." They didn't know he was God. Well, he said, well, "Excuse me, I made the authority of men to forgive sins." That's in Matthew 9. Also, when he was about to leave, before St. Thomas doubted him, in John chapter 20, to 20 to 22, he said, told the apostles to forgive sins they have not forgiven. If you forgive sins, they're forgiven, and the sins they forgive are retained, something like that, yeah. So the church, remember, the Catholic Church was not found by a white person. I'm going to tell like it is. The Catholic Church was found by a real dark-skinned Jew named Jesus Christ in Matthew 13, Matthew 16, 13 to 19, when he told St. Peter, and changed his name from Simon to Peter, on this rock I built my church. And when he talking about the keys, what the keys he's talking about? It's Isaiah 22, verses 20 and 22. Okay, 15, 22, excuse me, 15, 22. Why we call Peter and all the rest of the people from that line, the head bishop of the church, the Pope? Papa means father, okay, in Greek and Latin. And so the 21st verse of Isaiah 22 says the father Hebrews. So the keys of house of David is the same keys that Jesus talking about, the keys of heaven in Matthew 16, excuse me. And so, and you will say, well, how did if Jesus started the Catholic Church in Jerusalem, how did he get to Rome? Well, Peter wasn't wrong. The last verses of the first chapter of First Peter chapter 5:13, he says, "She or the church is here in Babylon." Babylon is the co-role of Rome in the New Testament, and that's what Peter went to Rome. That's why the Pope, the Vatican is St. Peter Basilica, statue representing in honor of St. Peter. You can tell he has curly hair, so there's some Negro blood in him. So that's why he said, "Why they got white?" Well, before white supremacy, let me tell you, the Catholic Church is the one that found the Bible. Biblia means a collection of books. We go by the second tradition as well. And you say the tradition, no, that's a different type of tradition. The Second Thessalonians chapter 2, 14 to 15. And I know I'm the baddest sin on this channel, but I'm gonna tell you the biblical verses, because some people who go in, like in this case, this priest here, not to judge him because he changed, but some priests don't go in detail of the faith. That's the chart. And no, I don't want to become a priest. Okay, I do want to get married and have kids. Okay, people tell me that for years, but I'm like, no, and I have an ugly attitude. I'm not gonna scandalize. No, I don't believe in bad authority. Okay, so yeah, be gentle, kind, as Saint Paul told Timothy in the second chapter of 2 Timothy. Was 2 Timothy chapter 2 verses 24, 25, 26. Yeah, about the slave law supposed to be correct and kind. I say that you can't be ugly and rude. So what happened is, in the Catholic Church, when they went to Rome, a lot of the people in Europe were poor. It wasn't like it is right now. Okay. So the only time any person that can afford the Bible was a rich person at the time. They had sheep's lambs, or was sheepskin to make the Bible, for they had paper from wood and the printing press. So the reason why that you will see images like the people come to church and the priest is reading the Bible to them, because they didn't know how to read. So what they did was to use art to interpretate the biblical stories. So, I know you'll say, well, Jesus was black. Well, other parts here, they do have a black Madonna, which is not Madonna, talking about the singer, talking about the Virgin Mary and black Jesus. But also the reason why they had the European Jesus. Remember, Peter left Jerusalem, okay, and went to Rome. And I mean, yeah, there were Africans and other people going to different places, but remember, when they did the pictures, they're depicting what people that look like them. Let's say if we live in Africa, and let's say that in just hypothetically, let's say that Peter did not go to Rome according to the Bible, First Peter chapter 5:13. Let's say that he went to Nigeria, which is not where it is Nigeria. Well, if they're nobody to read, they're going to make pictures of the people that look like them. So in Europe, that's what they saw, mostly white people. So they made Jesus white and the Blessed Mother white, but they didn't go around telling people that these folks were white. You know, where in the catechism you're going to find out that someone, yeah, you saw that stupid priest and I say stupid in Malcolm X, but that's one particular person. I'm talking about way before he was born. There's no document that said that Jesus was white. Okay, and when I became a Catholic, I knew that Jesus was not white. When I was a Protestant, I did, because I saw pictures in the Protestant Bibles and children Bibles of white Jesus, and no one did not clarify that he was not white. Okay, until I saw Jane Elliott, the 2 years before I became Catholic, and she mentioned that Adam Eve was black with an issue on race. Jane Elliott, the white woman who's against racism, especially white racism. Okay. And she's on to back in 1992. They had about teenagers talking about race. This actually me got interested in this topic because I was, as an individualistic person who doesn't buy into stereotypes and knowledge in my multiracial background at early age, because the Native American was the first non-black I was told 30 some years ago, and still like, well, can I identify my Native American roots on my black roots before I found out I had white and with French, English, and then like last year I found Spanish and English and on my mom's side of the family I know about. Okay, so the point is, a lot of people don't realize that, because I'm about freedom, and when people are using some type of thing to attack me with, I'm going to attack it. Okay, because I'm not trying to pay nobody's way. And even the priests, when I go to church, okay, those who know me know I don't no, I'm very hard-headed. Okay, so I've been like that when I was a Protestant. I mean, I'm like that as a Catholic. I made my own decision when I want to go to church. I've been in church a long time. I'm supposed to go to church, but I'm still making my own decision. And drag that's on my conscience. Okay, it's once again on my conscience. So when I found out, I said, well, Jesus, Adam, Eve were black for real. Because we always saw, when I was in a black church, they didn't have all pictures of Jesus, but we get the Bible, children Bible books. These are white Jesus, and you thought that Jesus was white. I never forget watching Imitation Life with the color version of Sarah Jane when she was a little girl. I'm talking about the book all the time, and they were debating when he was black and he said white like me. So I thought that when I saw it, I guess he is, because we always see the white Jesus. But when I went to a black Catholic, Creole Catholic church, when I became Catholic, we had a white Italian. But before he came to that church, we had Creole, a light-skinned Creole brother who was a priest. People sometimes thought he was a dark-haired white man or maybe a Mexican, but he was Creole. He had gospel music. He had African stuff all in the altar. No, I'm not lying. And I never forget when I was in Bible school, and because I went to Bible school in the Catholic Church. We had nuns. One was real light skin, she could pass for Mexican. She was Creole. The other was dark skin with a jerry curl. The other one had naturally straight hair and dark skin from New Orleans. And they were from the Fifth Ward Catholic Church. Okay, but I can go there. I went to another one in the East Side. Okay, I went to all my business, and I remember we visited other churches that were white. But I seen when the Creole priest back in 1992 was on vacation because I think he was going to because he went to Los Angeles. He went to Los Angeles to become a priest there. Before I become Catholic, but like after 1993, because 1992 he was still a priest, and we had a real dark skinned priest that was Nigerian, and I couldn't go to confession like everybody else because I wasn't Catholic, but I had told him, and I remember when I was going through suicide due to my family, I was Protestant going through suicide and depression, okay, This man told me, you need to go visit Africa. A lot of Africans think because we have many issues. But no. It's not that. It's that we came from a family that's very toxic. An environment that's toxic, what you expect, okay? You know what I'm saying? So you can, so anyway, point is. And and I remember the last day we had for our Bible school, because it was 2 weeks, we had a mass, and he put his African stuff. So I mean, one thing you understand, the Catholic experience I had, the African culture came in. Actually, if it wasn't for that, me saying I'm African American is sentence as saying black, because we used to debate that back then, and then when association with Africa. If I didn't have that introduction, I would not be proud of my African roots as well. There's one thing I was so happy that all of us came different shapes, heritage, and colors in that church. But when that Creole brother was there, he had African stuff on. He had the black and green and red. Yeah, he had that Garvey flag there. Yeah, we saw. I remember seeing paintings of the Blessed Mother being black. I think last time I went to that parish, but a couple years ago, they had a African Madonna, with the African, in the Blessed Virgin Mary with the mother and child, yeah, and the black Jesus, yes. So I saw images of Jesus being black, and we even discussed that when I was getting my catechism, okay? Well, in '93. So unlike other people, my experience, one thing I'm glad I'm a different and unique person. It's very different, and I became Catholic in 1993 on Mother's Day, and so I want everyone to know that we had introduced. I had introduced to African culture because we had African priests. Even though that white priest was there, and I can't stand the Italian. He's Italian, not because he's Italian, but he's Italian priest. He had to be Italian, and I'm glad he left. Because I stopped going there because when he got, I remember, I don't know about getting my grandma. I don't know about getting an attitude. I didn't want to get disrespectful in God's property, but I wanted to go off of him for 10 years old, and I had a perm, and I was an altar boy, and everybody talked to me, I was about to go off on him. Yes, I was going to go off on him, and I didn't want to go off on God's property. It was some off of God's property. My grandma didn't know about it, she's Protestant. I went off on him anyway. Sure would. Because I see him as human before I see a child. I've been like that since I was a child. I remember a nice kid. 79 child, but grew up in nice. We were very liberal, okay? And they had issues with even the catechism class. Because when the priest came there, it was the Irish American priest, and they were being disrespectful to him for some reason. I don't know why it was wrong, but because the white priest, when the Creole priest had left, that white priest was very rude. And many people left the Catholic Church, or those that went to other black Catholic churches in the Houston area, and they felt better there. I didn't have a car, so I couldn't go, and I didn't feel like seeing that man, because I'm sorry, I ain't like his attitude, and I didn't care about him being a priest, because I knew that they were bad priests. Let me explain why. One thing my grandmother, outside of Catholicism, one thing my grandmother was always trying to put in my head: your teachers, your parents, people with authority, people with a title, always right. And as a kid, I used to disagree with her all the time. And even her, she wasn't always right. I one time they told me, you shouldn't tell your grandmother, well, I'm sorry, if someone teach me right or wrong, come correct. Don't come teach me right and wrong, but be ugly to me. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that. I'm sorry, because that scandalized little ones. It's in the 18th of Matthew. And so when I know about the priest scandal, but I remember I didn't join the Catholic Church because of the priest, the Pope, none of that. I joined one thing because of communion, because the highest form of worship in the Catholic Church. We have communion every time we go to church. Like even today, if I go to Mass today, we're gonna have communion. That's our highest form of worship to God. Okay, sacrifice on the altar. Then to the culture and the religion, it was. Remember, I came from a Baptist upbringing, even though that my grandfather on my dad's side was not Baptist. They tried to make him Baptist, but he was an agnostic, and he grew up in Kojic Church, but he never got baptized. When he left Korean War, because he fought in the Korean War, he was a very agnostic, especially through the racism. He felt like, how can God be a loving God and all these black people going through this stuff? He would always tell me, and my dad's also an atheist. He tried to be a Muslim. My dad's an atheist. It's my dad's people, okay? And me and my dad don't talk because of the religion issues as well, okay? And I'm not going to be an atheist. There's times, no, when I dealt with people trying to distort scripture, even when the church was heresy on some of these preachers, that's why I snitched to the Pope about it. Those times I wanted to get rid of my faith. Period. Any Christianity. Okay. But I know I can't be ungrateful because when I went to atrocity and I went to things, I prayed, and it wasn't for God. And I ain't perfect. I know I'm cuss on here. I act a fool on this channel, but I gotta be honest with you. It wasn't for the Lord Jesus Christ. In my Catholic faith, I would not be the strong person I am today. Okay, the abuse with the family, the abuse at the job, the abuse at the school, even with authority figures, would it be those in the police, those at the job, and those in the apartment complex I live at, even the thugs here. Okay, thugs outside in the suburbia or white racist ones, anybody that was evil of any color, any race. It wasn't for me praying for them because I'm sorry if I did have a gun, probably in death row right now, get all my enemies. But no, to be honest with you, there many times I made other threatening thoughts to be doing something, but it wasn't for God intervening. It was my faith. I wouldn't be where I am today. So before anybody start talking about God don't exist, you can't tell me that because it wasn't for my Catholic faith, I would be on the street right now. When I was dealing with almost being evicted from my apartment, okay, back in 2012, if I didn't pray, especially my novenas and stuff, I would not be here at an apartment complex right now. Okay, when I dealt with bad bosses, half of them lost jobs. Half of them who let me go didn't have a job when I left. Even the managers here at this apartment complex, I'm going to go in detail, them two have, sorry to say it like that, got fired a year after I won my eviction case. And nothing to do with me. I ain't snitched, I left it alone. They got snitched on by other people. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you don't want to talk bad about, oh, God don't exist. Stupid human, shut up. Okay, sorry I said a stupid human. I know it's wrong me to say that to be disrespectful, but stupid human, shut up. You're a human, you're not God, and I'm not hearing your interpretation with how you feel about the Bible or what the Bible think, okay? I'll be on my guard, like St. Peter said in the third chapter third chapter of 15, 16, 17, about people to source scripture. So the reason I'm bringing this before I start going in detail about, like, they're long-winded about this priest. So it wasn't for Catholicism because when I went to my Baptist church, I heard black Anglo-Saxon culture. I didn't besides Creole culture when I went to Catholic church, I saw African culture. We had Nigerian priests, people from Nigeria that came to our parish. Okay, I remember we celebrate Black History Month and we talk about the first. And I already knew about the first Black Catholic and bishop. Even he went through racism within the Catholic Church. He like a white man, James Henry, okay, in America, okay. So, but going back to about the people saying about the images. Remember, it's when Peter went to Rome, and they had to make images and icons and art in order to tell the people who are poor the gospel. That's why you have the nativity sets. Okay, that's why you have the crucifix. They didn't say in the Catholic Church that Jesus. Never I heard a white person and anybody of color saying Jesus was white. Actually, it's funny. It's a convert like me who's of ex-Baptist, when he's a minister white man named Steve. God, dog, I forgot his name. Um, What's Steve? He's friends with Alex Jones. No, not Alex Jones, white man. It's a brother, lighter than me with curly hair from Detroit. He was a Pentecostal minister and became a Catholic later on. I met him in person. Steve, God dog it. Stephen something. I've got his name. White man. He used to be a Baptist minister. He'd be anti-Catholic. He used to get people out of the Catholic Church, to restore the interpretation he is, and he became Catholic. And when he was doing his conversion story, I had one cassette tape from Catholic Answers. He said that Jesus was a short, dark-skinned, with curly hair Jew. Okay? So, and I remember when I went to a Catholic church that was white in downtown, at the cathedral, in 2000, I would see Missalets, which is a book that had the scriptures in it, and read in Mass from the scriptures and the Hallelujah and the glory and all that. Okay? There were darker images of Jesus. So I don't understand how people would think that Jesus, it sometimes bothered me, but when you're educated already, it don't bother you because you know that Jesus is white. I mean, Jesus is black, excuse me. Jesus is darker than me. He not white, he black. Well, I knew that. You know, so I know that Jesus is even in catechism class. Then when they mentioned ethnicity, then we talked about that, and I'm glad that I went to a predominantly African American Creole Catholic church, because I'm part Creole. Started to acknowledge and it started to embrace it, and the African culture there, because we had folks from Africa come to our church who were ministers, who were priests, excuse me, and nuns. um so in a lot of the Josephite fathers, they're they because we were saying about the white man, why did he join Josephite fathers are African American Catholic organizations that signs priests to go to Catholic churches in their African American populated in the South and other places in the United States. But I don't know why this white priest who's Italian. And yeah, when that Creole priest, there was no more gospel music, and everybody was upset about that. I'll never forget that. And I just became Catholic for my own sake, because I got tired of hearing my grandma's interpretation as well. I don't like the interpretation she gave me. I hate it. Every time she tried to interpret the Bible home, I'm sorry. Even I argue with a priest, well, you need to, no, no, no. I don't want to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to teach me indifference. I know they did it with their attacking me. It was a difference if the Pope came here or someone from the Vatican would tell that I had a right to reject her interpretation, because even if we disrespectful and folks understand, because you got these people who are Catholic who are raised Americanized culture and they try to incorporate with Catholicism. Okay, and don't forget, America is a Protestant culture, so that's why I noticed that, because I'm for nuclear families and families to come together that's not abusive nuclear, okay? Not dysfunctional families come together, because that dysfunction hurts the other person in the family who don't want a part of it. And even Matthew 10 backed me up about he'll put a sword in mama. You know what I'm saying? So when I even told a priest, yeah, you're right about, yeah, I'm like, y'all, I'm not, y'all made me the dumb ones in the church who don't read. But when I became Catholic, I read what this faith was. I mean, all detail of it, but I did. And that's one thing when I was going to enter Catholicism 20 years ago with a Latino man who became Protestant, and I found back in 2013 he's gay. But he was anti Catholic, and he was a Protestant evangelical. Went to some church in which I think his pastor is a ripoff. Some Latino Protestant church in Denver Harbor. They had connections to the east side. They were dressing nice cars, stuff. Yeah, okay. And no one trying to recruit somebody because you want to get their money. When I was going through that 20 years ago, the reason why I didn't leave, because I kept referring, well, if these other churches are, if the Catholic Church is bad, it's not. Bro, no, Jesus did find the Catholic Church. What the hell? That's how they say like that. Forgive me. But like, why? The church is founded by Jesus. These other churches are not, and I found out later on that's correct, because in the 1500s, that's when you have the Methodists, the Baptists, the Presbyterians. Pentecost came like 1920 something. But all these churches that in the process were found by men making their own, and women later on, especially the vendors, they are found by humans making their own interpretation of the Bible. Meaning, when Peter talked about that in the first chapter of his second letter, in the 21st and 21st verse, he meant that personal interpretation, private personal. That means your own interpretation. You put your own thoughts in God's thoughts. That's why we have the church. The church spiritual foundation is in First Timothy chapter 3:15. Okay, that's why the church is his bride. Talking about in Ephesians. Okay, so you never gonna get rid of that church. Okay, this is Jesus' church to the end of time. So so I'll be with you to the end of time. When he told him he was leaving, he's talking about his church. Okay, that's his bride. These other churches are not bride. They were found by Luther and Zwingli and Wesley. Who else? John Smith, who founded the Baptist Church in 1609 in England. With a Y. Okay, not with a I. Smith with a Y. All the rest of these. You know what I'm saying? So before I really give you a history lesson, I'm gonna have people backslash me and tell me how dare you defend the Catholic Church? There was a claim in there. Well, excuse me. The reason why the claim was against the Catholic Church, because we was an integrated church. The word Catholic means universal. The church that Jesus founded, that Peter Bosworth did not have a name until Saint Ignatius of Antioch, who was one of the bishops who was a disciple for I think it was Saint James or Saint John, one of the apostles. He gave the name the Catholic Church in Greek means Catholicos Universal because of the last verses of Matthew when Jesus said, "Preach all nations, baptize all nations." Okay, so that's why it's a billion of us all over the globe. Okay, because his message of Jesus Christ was Jesus Christ's message was to go all over the places. Remember, the Jews did not want to acknowledge Jesus as their Messiah, as their Lord and Savior, as God in the flesh. They still waiting for that to happen. We already know who the Messiah is, so that's why Peter and the rest of them went to places where Gentiles were, who would believe in other gods, who are pagan, because they were trying to bring them to the life of Christ, and they did through his church. That's why we beat Constantine. Yeah, we did. We beat the Roman Empire. We beat Attila. We beat a lot of people. That's why even when got with the Crusaders. Yeah, but a lot of folks not know the reason why the Crusaders happened between the Catholic Spain and the Muslims from the Africa, because they were going to Christian areas and harassing Christians. That caused a lot of problems between the two. Today Islam and Catholicism, many Muslims, I can't say all, not nation Islam, but the other Muslims, I have friends with Muslims, and we get along, and we're Catholic. I mean, I'm Catholic, and they're not, and we get along. We don't have this beef like me Protestants, evangelicals, and yeah, I'm sorry, during that Bush situation, he's an evangelical his own self. And it was Catholics who are white who voted for Bush, and I even told them, y'all voting for the word. Well, you can't vote for abortion. I said, excuse me, in out of 8 years, which I told them when Obama won, the Bush never got rid of abortion. So, I mean, you voted for somebody and abortion is still legal. And the first person who made abortion was a Republican named Nixon to get rid of blacks. You remember named black bastards. That's why Marcus Adams was a racist. That's how I learned it from Catholicism and black Catholics who were even now Martin King's niece, who's not Catholic, who goes on EWTN. I don't always agree with her politics. Avita King, she mentioned that, and I saw that documentary Marfa 21, Black Genocide, and I realized that the abortion industry was targeting African Americans due to my Catholic faith. Okay, so you gotta understand that the church is a pure church foundation. So why would this priest who's a Klansman would join the Catholic Church? Well, let me explain why. This dude was a white Catholic, 9'10", who was lapsed, who did not go to church every Sunday, who hung with white Protestants in Virginia. Remember, the South is called the Bible Belt because it's a white Protestant area. Okay, the only Catholic that you're gonna find is Maryland, Florida, Louisiana, okay, and Texas. But when they stole Mexico, so part of Mexico, which is that house, to Texas, it became a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant state. Even people who run the state are white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, okay, in this state, okay. That's why the Methodist Bible. I'm sorry, if Protestant was true Christianity, we would not have racism, okay? Because notice in Latin America, everybody keeps talking about slave trade and what they did have the natives. The native population still have its presence in Latin America. The African traditions is still in Latin America, along with the Spaniard. And remember, people married, not just rape. There was also marriages of interracial marriages of 3 races in Latin America. So but here in the States, where it's Protestant, a lot of white Protestant people misinterpret the Bible, who are racist, especially conservative ones. And they thought that racism was a sin. But it's funny, if it's a sin, why is your deacon, your minister, who's a Protestant, who are slave masters, who has statues of, okay, was raping black women if it was all a sin? And of course, rape is a sin, but they contradict themselves. Remember, these people thought they was remember the idea that in Protestantism, John Calvin, who's a founder of Presbyterian, believed that the Protestant work ethic. That's why that many of us African Americans do not do well in it. When I became Catholic and started learning that the prayer for our works is dead, that's why I was so hard working. They're shocked because they expect someone like me who's African American, multiracial as well, and identifies multiracial, that I wouldn't that I'd be so hardworking. You know why I'm so hardworking? And people say you don't have to do no, because in my faith we believe faith without works is dead. And that's in James chapter 2, 24, 26. And when I go to work, I work my behind off because I believe in succeeding. Okay? That's why, like they say, Latinos, I got it in my blood, are hardworking. Because in Latin culture, the Catholic Church is very dominant there. You know, there are prizes there in Latin America, but they're told to get in something, work hard. See, but in the white culture, a lot of white people who are Protestant in America, who dominate the society, believe in the Protestant work ethic that they were chosen to have the yes, okay, and those who don't have the riches are condemned, damned, already predestined to have that. That's why a lot of white guys who are Protestants or evangelicals or racists believe in that. Even in the workplace. So in your workplace, they expect you to be lazy if you're a committed sin. And they would say you're, you know, that's a lot of us understand that Protestant work ethic does not work for us African American people. The Catholic faith to our works is dead because they believe in, knows you believe in something, you'll get it. Yeah, but you got to work to get it, right? You know, that's a, you know, well, you know, with in Romans, where it's a, you know, of course, grace will get you heaven, but notice that Lord go to heaven, as Jesus said in Matthew 7, and what they believe in that when they're talking about the works that Luther put in the Bible, it was talking about circumcision in Romans. Okay, we no longer have to do circumcision. So a lot of folks don't know their Bible the correct way. So why I'm talking about this? Because a lot of folks are ignorant about the Catholic Church, and I know I'm not a good Catholic. Okay, but somebody, including those who are in the priesthood, who don't do nothing, who sit there and I'm sorry to say this, I'm gonna judge what I'm seeing. I'm gonna go by my observation. A lot of these priests, especially old school, live in the old world. They don't go out. Back in the days, we priests who go out in the community. They don't do that anymore. And there are those who do, but they overlook. We don't see them in the media. We use, you know, the ones sitting their tail in rectory and using their the church welfare money. Okay, I call it like it is, and public housing, aka the rectory, where the priest, the rectory, the rectory, the parish hall is where we have all the activities. Okay, so and they go on them vacations. So yeah, I call it like it is. The government, the entire government of the Catholic government fund. Okay, the welfare. Okay, because when you become a priest, you don't want the unlike the Protestant ministers. They make money. How many converts they get to the church? Talking about the Protestant ministers, and that's why y'all know Cadillacs and all that. But the priest take the vow of celibacy. All them cars you see what they got, that's the church stuff. Ain't the priest stuff. When you leave the priesthood, you can they make the decision you can keep a car you bought or whatever. But if they bought it on their own funds, you're not living on nice houses. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you go to and you're a priest, you don't live in a nice house. Okay, so a lot of folks need the difference. Y'all go and put y'all collection plate for them Protestant ministers, and not all Protestant, but the men them use the reason why they go target people. It's a game. It's a gimmick. They distort scripture. Those who are anti-Catholic, I know, do, and those who are very spiritual abusive. It's to get money, control, and power. So they tell you this and that. Then you believe and you don't discern it. Then you go to church and you're giving them money and they try to talk you. They control your mind and my soul. And so I know they trick. Okay, I know about their fruits. Okay, and so the reason why I bring this up because in the Catholic Church, a lot of people don't understand that you're going to have bad people, good people. You'll have racists and non-racists, but the theology is not to be racist, okay? Because we're all children of God, okay? That's why I cannot. Yes, there are Catholics who are racist, but they're committing sin, okay? Because you would love thy neighbor as should thyself, okay? You know, and so that's the whole reason why I'm bringing this up because y'all. Yeah, I said, well, this Catholic, I'm shocked. Well, y'all was shocked because the fact of the matter is that the Ku Klux Klan hates Catholics. Okay, the reason the Protestant area is so the South is so Protestant because a lot of Klansmen who control the South made sure the Catholic Church was out. There was a white Puerto Rican because he was pure Spaniard. case in Alabama. I forgot what book it's about, but it's a true story where this white pure Spaniard Puerto Rican came from Puerto Rico to Alabama, and this was during time like the 1930s or 40s, whatever. We were very anti-Catholic with a lot of white Protestants, and they didn't want to cut his head because they expected him because he looked white, but he had some Afro-Latino blood in him. And what happened was there was a Catholic man that married a woman who was Protestant, a white woman, and the the white woman's dad was a Methodist minister, okay, and he was against Catholics, and he killed that man. There was a trial. I forgot what it is, but I want to get that book so bad. We were talking about EWTN, and so remember because Jews during prior to civil rights movement were part of the NAACP. Jews were open to black people, not all Jews, but many of them were. Catholics who come from even in Texas history, a lot of us know German Catholics who came to Texas did not like the slavery from the white Anglo-Saxon people, was against it. Even Louisiana, yes, there were French and Spainmen who slaved, raped, all that, but there, due to the Catholic faith, a lot of them there's those who was against slavery. That's why we have free people of color in Louisiana and interracial marriages compared to the rest of the South. And even in Maryland, and I think even Kentucky, the African American Catholic Association, whatever it's called. They're in Kentucky somewhere, yeah. So there's many slaves that they were part of the Catholic Church who left, led the Catholic Church that we don't talk about in history. We always hear the Protestant people. But this white man who was a Catholic, let me let you know, y'all, he was not a active Catholic. Okay, if Ku Klux Klan found you're part of the Catholic Church, they would either you have to denounce your faith or not become a Catholic. Not become a Klansman. So when he left, when he was in his 20s, he was trying to be like his white Protestant counterparts who were anti-Catholic, who also hate blacks, Jews, Hispanics, whatever. That's why he was bombing the Butler's family. Got my prayers out to the Butler's family, and I understand their pain. They don't want to talk to him. I wouldn't want to talk to him either. It's forgive but not forget. Okay. Also too, they're trying to bomb Coretta Scott King. You forget that Coretta Scott King's friends, men, them, because she was a liberal Baptist, moderate liberal Baptist. She wasn't conservative. And the funny part is that a lot of folks know that it was the white conservative people who were Protestant who was against Martin Luther King. Pat Robertson, Gerald Farwell, when integration happened, they were the ones who wanted school vouchers. One thing that people were against school vouchers, not because the public school is ruins of public school. That came later, okay, during the Reagan and Bush, during the Clinton administration. But back in the 80s, the 70s, the schools were different. And so a lot of white people who are who are racist, who are Protestant, took their children out of public school. So they want to go with the niggers, they say, and went to belong in white Protestant schools, private schools, so they can mix their religion in the Bible along with their views. And I know one particular person, I know I ain't gonna say who it is, an older man, and he came from a Baptist, but you can tell this dude is a racist. He's very Republican, and yes, he is. And even discussed about the Beyonce and they got a situation, with the Super Bowl. He said, well, somebody show their breasts. I talk about political stuff, what I'm saying? I said, I know that's a dude. I know, I have Anglo in me. And I can only every white man's heart. I'm not God. But since I have Anglo in me and I did study my history and to know everything, but I could tell that you want them white Protestant ministers who people who believe in in your Protestant culture, don't want to be part of mainstream. You're very anti-black, but don't want to show it because it's minorities where you work at, and you could just tell. Okay, as they say, the redneck mentality. I can tell. I can tell when I start examining the screen. I don't know the person's heart, but I can tell. So a lot of people know that this white priest was at his time was not a priest, and I'm glad the news media revealed the reason why he became a priest is because the $26,000 of damages of that burned the cross in the Butler's famous yard. It was time to pay up. He disappeared, and then when he saw the Virginia riots, yeah, they called him out. I agree with D. I didn't like the comments they were saying on his, including himself with self about faith. But the problem is when they did, it was his conscience eating him up. Remember why he became Catholic, because we forgive people, okay, people, and he said pedophiles. Before anything about said pedophiles in Catholic Church, let me remind you that it's according to data, there are more sex abuse cases among Protestant clergy. Thank you, Philip Jenkins, who wrote the book about that. Than Catholic. The media, just like it does for minorities, would make the Catholic Church look so terrible because they wanted to push the idea of celibacy out the priesthood and America and women clergy. Okay, that's the whole reason why. But the Southern Baptist Convention, who condone slavery, who the claim belong to in the South, besides the Methodist Church in the South, have a sexual abuse. Go to stopbaptistpredators.org. You'll be shocked that a lot of Baptist ministers, white, black, whatever, have been guilty of sexual abuse with children, whether it be girls or boys. So before anybody talk about the Catholic Church, it's the media. Because remember, this country has always been anti-Catholic. It's a white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant nation. When Trump talks about make America great again, he is talking about that. Okay? He's a Protestant. That's why him and the Pope do not get along. Pope called him out on his racism. Okay? And even that's why I'm very upset with Bill Donahue from Catholic League, because he's a Trump supporter. And the Pope, don't lie, Bill. I don't care. I'm not from the old school. I will tell you, even though you're old, he's Irish. Irish in DNA, in my DNA as well, doing my research. But I will tell straight on, I'm not from the old school. And yes, the Pope Francis did say that Trump is a racist and he's not a Christian person. And it's so funny. You have white Protestant people who are anti-Catholic, who are comfortable with the bashing the Catholic Church from left, right on social media. Okay. See, a lot of folks, that's why you have a lot of the Catholic Church doing the civil rights moves play a lot in that. There are many, Scott King and also Martin King's friends were Catholic, and his own dad was against it, because remember Michael Little is Martin King's real name and his dad's name, not Martin Luther. Martin King, whose mama is his dad the senior, his mama is Irish. Okay, dad was black. And I guess, I'm not mistaken, maybe it was from Catholic upbringing, because a lot of Irish are Catholic. And it's the time when Irish ties were not classified as white. Remember, because they weren't white, Anglos, and Protestant. That's why a lot of white folks who are Irish, Italian, and even German mingle with black people back in the day. I remember, yes, that's very true. A lot of African here in Texas, there were white German men who married black women. Even Louisiana, besides the Spaniard and white Spaniard men and French and German men, that's why the Anglo-Saxons of North of Louisiana call our people calls crazy Frenchmen, because they was like, wow, these white men who are French, Spaniard, or German were letting go. When they bought a slave from white Anglos, they let the slave go free. The person want to come in and pay a person who used to be a slave, because it was unpaid labor when it was slavery. Okay. They'll marry the black women, the part of Native American women, part mulatto and triracial women who are partially black, okay, and have children. Remember, many of these people who are white men also educate their mulatto kids. They went to France to learn French. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's a different. Louisiana was its own country, so to speak, compared to the South. Okay, the South was very redneck. So I say it like that. WASP area, okay, and everybody, it just got racist down there because of the white Anglo-Saxon people getting in power. A lot of folks don't understand that when read about the black folks going to Mexico, men went to Mexico when the Louisiana Purchase, especially after the Louisiana Purchase and everything, when it was part of the Confederacy, a lot of the mulattoes or people of color went to Louisiana. Went to Mexico, Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic to get away from the slavery. And when they had the one drop rule of Pleasure versus Ferguson case, yes, men and them left then. So it's funny, you got Mexicans in Veracruz, they have French last name. Well, that French person could be from Louisiana who's partially black. Okay, but the truth of the matter is that this white man who's not admitting this, you gotta understand that when he saw the Charlotte, it was all two. I think it was two ways on this. Besides, he getting exposed for being a priest after he's supposed to pay up, and I think he should pay up. And I'm glad he's temporarily resigning, and he should have paid up because it was his gateway. And a lot of folks that don't understand that people, and people are pedophiles, it's not because they're priests. Pedophile people who are sexual abuse go to any access to children. Okay, they can be school teachers, they can be ministers in the Protestant church, they can be Catholic priests, they can be rabbis, where people would think they're automatically trustworthy. Well, I know biblically what St. Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, 1 and 2, that the steward should prove to be trustworthy. And I'm not going to trust you. I even tell cops that. I guess I have told a cop that. I told people in the apartment complex that. I told people, I said, I don't trust people. I even told people at a job. Because people that show me trustworthy, I mean, trust them, I don't trust them. And then they acting ugly and rude. Oh, definitely not trusting nobody. Let me just get rid of y'all. There we go. But let me forget already. But the truth about it, I'm not lying, y'all, that a lot of people don't understand that. So he was not active in his faith. Okay, he was not active at all to be a captain in the cool saying. When it was guilt and you say karma, whatever you want to say, that's when he got scared and tried to serve the Lord. I mean, hey, you can't get mad at them because a lot of people there. You have people who did drugs, so dope. Next thing they have to get punishment. It's time to serve God now. You know what I'm saying? And I've been born again. Well, it's the same thing happened to him. Okay, and he kept it secret, but they were looking for him and found out. And I think that the way he did was very sneaky. And I'm glad that his guilt came out because, remember, as a Catholic, he knew what he was doing. The white Protestants, and I'm not trying to give people a pass, the reason why a lot of white supremacy is there in the white Protestant churches because people use their personal interpretation of the Bible, okay? And a lot of folks are told not to question, okay? Because remember, I'm an ex-Protestant in black identified churches. They're Protestant, they're old school, conservative. They're going to tell you not to question their doctrines. It's wrong to question God when actually it's a human person make their own interpretation, and God wants us to be knowledgeable, okay? Test everything, hold what's good, St. Paul saying Thessalonians, okay? So, you gotta understand that's the whole reason why, okay? A lot of white people, that's why they put them in white Protestant schools when integration happened. So that always these people you work with, they're very religious, but they see a lot of racism. And you ask them if they went to a white Protestant school, okay, a white private Protestant school. There's very like Southern Baptist, whatever, and it was not a lack of integration. It was mostly white people there. Question, you ask that question. Yes, okay. They was indoctrinated by teachers and ministers and church ladies, at that church to teach them how to be racist but love Jesus at the same time. Okay, and same in the Protestant churches that African American, you have people who are racist there, and they'll try to debate me about the Bible. You put, excuse me, first of all, you make your own interpretation of Scripture. You making racism. I talked to one to where it says and try to take cues from white supremacy. It say don't mix the tribes. Okay, during the Old Testament, everybody was black. Okay, okay. During the Old Testament, prior to Adam and Eve, everybody was black. Okay, so if everybody was black, why would God would tell them to not? It was talking about religion. Before the Catholic Church was the true foundation of Christianity. Okay, it was Judaism. okay? In Judaism, and it's like we taught in Catholic Church too, we're encouraged to marry within our own faith, not color, faith. Even the girl I'm talking to, I hope she's a Catholic, okay? And she came, her family come from two Catholic countries, the Philippines and Mexico, don't mean that you have Protestants there too. And I can't marry. I mean, I can, but she has to. If my wife is Protestant, okay, in order to denounce their marriage, they have to acknowledge that she gonna become a Catholic too. They can't have a mixed marriage. When we're talking mixed marriage, we're talking about interfaith marriages, okay? Because the reason why God was against interfaith marriages, because let's say I am a Jew, okay? If it wasn't for Jesus, let's say that Jesus didn't come through Mary yet, okay? Mary was not born yet, okay? Let's say I'm a Jew, and this girl here, she's Gentile. She believe in what's it called, Zeus and Medusa and all that. But I believe in Yahweh God, right? Monotheism, only one God. So if we have a baby, what religion they gonna believe in? Because we gonna be arguing about, well, excuse me, only one God. No, it's Medusa and Zeus. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that we're taught to marry within our own faith, just like the Judaism, because you can marry anybody of any color, okay? That's extra. That had to do with you. It's your faith, okay? Why Jan Jackson marriage happened? She's not Muslim, okay? Even me shocking to tell my family business. I mentioned in the earlier video that my grandfather was a Gnostic and he grew up Kojic, Church of God in Christ. And my grandma's a Baptist, and she was trying to make him, the reason why they have our going to their business, because of he didn't believe that stuff. And she thought she can change. You can't change a man, okay? A lot of us thought, women start thinking you can change somebody. It's God change us, okay? Thank you, okay, really. So, that's why I look for those with my own faith, which probably the reason why, but there are sisters who are Catholic, and there's why probably about, Hispanic, and they got Hispanic roots in me through my mama's side, okay? But even a Latina girl that's Protestant, we cannot make it because we don't believe the same thing. She could be on the Assembly of God church, and I believe in Catholicism. We're gonna be arguing every day about who gonna go to church next Sunday, okay? And I don't believe that, about misinterpretation of the Bible. I don't believe that interpretation. I'm going to act a fool about that, especially coming from an ex-Protestant. I'm an ex-Protestant, and I don't want to deal with people putting their own personal views with God's words, okay? So, y'all get my point. So, that's what is against God, okay? Is a confused marriage based on theology, not race. So, remember, in the Old Testament, everybody was black, okay? And they become different colors when they went to outside of the area, right? They went to Europe and Asia, and then mutinization to do the climates. Okay? You know your history, okay? So, that's why. So, it wasn't about race. It was about religion. And it's very true. If a girl, she look like, even I couldn't marry Mariah Carey, because Mariah Carey is Episcopalian. I think she now Pentecostal. I don't know what she non-denominational now, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have argument about who I believe in. So I have to marry with my own religion. Okay? When you want any race, I have to marry with those with my own religion. Okay? Especially if I plan to have kids and we're not going to practice contraceptives. Okay? Because that's against our faith. It stops the birth rate. Okay, that's why I say when I have sex with my wife, I'm having 10 children. Because I'm having fun. I'm having my all night long, like the American girls, all night long. Yeah, exactly. When I say I do, it can be all night long. I'm sorry. Shoes. I'm gonna have my drunken love. Yeah, for real. And shoes. Yeah, I have my drunken love. Shoes. I mean, drunken love. Yeah, I'm gonna have my drunken love moment, okay? Not literally drunken love, but me have my sex with my wife, okay? So the I'm bad Beyonce song because she's talking about her husband, okay? She ain't talking about nobody else but her husband, okay? So, that's good because we need to start teaching people to keep sex within marriage, okay? But y'all get my point. That's the whole reason why that I don't have I I got very upset when y'all talking about we the evil church. No, excuse me. Stop calling the bride of Christ evil because of weeds and bad fishes. This as Jesus was saying in his metaphor in chapter 13 of Matthew. Remember, Judas was bad. Remember, Peter, who's the Pope, stabbed in the back. You know, not trying to back, but betrayed him. Okay, and the rest of the possibility, he abandoned. And I would trust me. Many times I have people abandon me, and then I can understand what Jesus go through in that situation when I need help. Okay, and I had to rely on Him. So you gotta understand, y'all. Y'all gotta stop just because this priest was an ex-Klansman, not currently a Klansman because he been kicked out already. Okay, and y'all didn't get on my nerve with that. That man, yes, I think he should pay the Butler family $26,000 of damages because he did his crime. One thing we're taught to restitution what we did wrong, and yeah, we are taught. That's why when I came, that's why I'm so money hungry. I have bills when that lady denied me access to go to Job Corps one period of time. You know, kept my paperwork. I was waiting for her call to go to Job Corps, and I was ready to get a job, and it turned out because I'm going to Job Corps, I have bills to this day, and I always want to be rich or either be wealthy to pay them back. We believe in restitution. Yeah, we believe in restitution. Okay, you steal something, you pay for it. You know what I'm saying. We believe that in this in the one of the seventh commandment, right? Yeah. In the catechism talk about that too through the second commandment. You know, that should not steal or whatever. Yeah. So I wish I could understand that that's if it wasn't for my faith, y'all, and my Catholic faith, I would not be here today. I'd probably be dead. I'd probably commit suicide. That many times when I commit suicide, but I started praying, and once I started praying, things change, and that had done a lot for me. I would never leave my faith. I'll be honest with you, I almost was convinced to leave my faith due to me becoming famous. Um, the brother I told you about that was when I was working with Terrence Howard. Okay, not even me Terrence Howard in person, but I mean I saw him in person, but I didn't say hi to him. But the agent was a brother, the first agent I hooked up with, and I found he was anti-Catholic, and I did not do any projects with him because of my faith, and he tried to bash my faith. And I'm sorry if I mean, I know I do wrong sometimes. I do choose things over, not choose another God over Jesus, but my sinful behavior comes in. I would be doing right, but I would let you know if it was such thing called aluminum with all that other crap, I would have, exactly. So my point is, I chose my faith. The only time I choose to get rid of it when I choose to get rid of it. When I choose to not believe in God. Remember, He does give you a free will, and around a blessing or a curse. Choose a blessing. I made the decision if I want to take the blessing or the curse, right or wrong. Nobody else. That's why we're not robots to do right. It's on our own. We call it. I forgot. What's that word? Stability. It's our own ability to do, to do right, okay, and do wrong. That's why He gave us free will, okay. It carry our own load, as St. Paul said in Galatians, whatever. Carry our own load. So I can't sit here and let people. That's why I'm here to speak on this about this man that he does not represent the Catholic Church. So, and if y'all talk bad about him being a Catholic and he used ex-Klansman, what about the Klansman who bombed that sisters in 1964 in Alabama at that Baptist church? Remember they bombed? It was going to Sunday school. Men, they were ministers. They weren't Catholic. They were Baptist minister preaching somewhere, and they were always on a what? And they arrested him. Okay, men the Klan who were lynched would go to Sunday school, Protestant church, Sunday school, and have a sermon, and they have a picnic next to their brother. And they were not Catholic. So before y'all say anything about my church, okay, it's one thing I might sin, I might do something, but one thing I will never. And I don't like the priest, a particular priest in the church, and I've told one before that. I mean, let them know that I ain't trust. You know what I'm saying? And I even when I go to church because of their presence, which I shouldn't let that happen. But I'm sorry, my temper gets mad, and you know something. I'm sorry, I'm bipolar. Okay, so instead of me acting fool, what I did was I went on the computer and snitched on their behind for what yes I did. Okay, to the vote. And then when I see changes, then I'm coming. When he became Pope, I was happy that he chose Francis because Saint Francis were the person was in San Francisco. Saint Francis believed in helping the poor, the saint, you know what I'm saying. So, in helping the the outcasts and all that. And one thing he said, but he was upset with the Catholic Church in America because the Catholic Church is the American Catholicism is not true Catholicism. I would let you know that. I would love to go to another country to go to church, but American Catholicism mixed with this white surprising mess, it ain't true Catholicism. It's not. Even other Catholics who go visit here would tell you that. Um, and he was talking about how capitalism was so important. He was against that. And that's very true because when people voted for Bush, it was white Catholics who were trying to be like their white Protestant counterparts who talk trash about their faith, vote for Bush and Bush not do no abortion, abolish abortion, none of that. Okay, get on my nerves when people talk about that. So please. Well, you trying to say is that he should pay up, that priest should pay up. I'm glad he's stepping down. And anybody can be a bad person, no matter what their role is. That's why St. Paul say in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, 1 and 2, the student had to prove to be trustworthy, not you trusting. Thank you, please. So everybody know I practice that. If I find you're not trustworthy, even my own family, I'm not gonna go visit you because I know what you're gonna do, stab me in the back and say you didn't do it. And do everybody that way. Everybody got confrontation in the church. I remember when the second time I went to confession in 2007, I would not go a lot. Like I said, I didn't want to get into an argument, whatever. Okay, and I remember getting yelled at the priest, and I felt bad because the priest, not me yelling, but I didn't want to be bullied. He's a priest from the United States who was very kind. Was not from the United States, so that's why. Okay, and I'm not coming to be disrespectful. I'm a very defensive person. I don't like to get hurt. Okay, someone trying to hurt me, it's a territorial situation. I have to protect myself. So it's like an armor. Okay, I know you gotta be nice and kind to protect, but I'm wrong way. But when people think they're holding me and doing their mess, I call it out on them. Anyway, y'all. But y'all, let me let you know that priest had nothing to do with the Klan got nothing to do with Catholic Church. I'm trying to say, look at people as individuals, and like I say, and I don't believe in Protestantism. Sorry, those who are. I don't believe. I hate that religion when it comes to the conservative part of it as well. So, no, I do. I mean, I'm sorry. Personal tradition had no Protestant people. The source scripture that if Luther back in 1500 did not deal with it. I mean, remember, when I was chasing my white side of my ancestry, for grandmother, okay, who was English and Irish. The English part, I saw a lot of Protestantism. Okay, from Alabama, from Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Virginia, England. And when my long distance white ancestors was part of the information, I got very upset because people use. I'm sorry, and I remember coming up from my Protestant grandmother. And how narcissistic and rude she can be. No, nobody thumping. No. That's why I was having a scoffer on Proverbs 9. I let God correct me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no human being to get very angry. So that's what I have to say about y'all. Have a say.